guys. Welcome to the Facial Recognition Comedy Podcast. I'm Fizza Dasani.
I'm Paula Viganalan.
I'm Zara Ali.
And today we're here with our guest, Nick Guerra.
Hey, thank you for having me. Oh, yeah, I get claps.
So for those who don't know, because you're just completely out of the loop.
Nobody knows me.
Whatever, Nick. I know you.
If anybody is a comedy fan, they know you.
Yeah.
You think?
I think so.
Really?
Or they should.
I think your career is going to jump another level because of the haircut.
Maybe. That's a part of the reason I got it cut.
I feel like it's a metaphor.
I think haircuts are very important to your career.
Yeah, they are, right?
Wait, are you?
It's just a redesign. It's that whole idea of like, this is the new me. That's really what it is.
Is it really the new you? What sparked this? Are you going through a breakup right now?
Yeah.
No, yeah. I broke up with my old self. I broke up with youth. That's what happened. I was like, you are no longer young, Nick. Get rid of it. No, because I have been closing more and doing more corporates and things like that. That's why I started wearing the suits. You know.
Oh, it's easier to get the corporate gigs if you already have
It's easier for the crowd to respect you as an artist because I have a young face. Mm-hmm. So if I go on stage in this, they're like, oh, who the fuck is this guy? This guy's a slacker. You know,
Right.
And that's kind of the attitude they take with you. So a suit would tell them, no, I'm the pro.
Yeah.
Right. And then.
Wait, so question. You're a young face, but an old soul or an
Yes.
older person? Oh, so like Fizza has a joke where she says, good brown, don't break down.
Oh, yeah. Right? Possibly. I'm 35. I'm about to be 36.
Yeah, you look pretty young.
Yeah.
So in Hollywood, you're going for like the roles of 25-year-olds? Is that what
I'm
you're doing
going
right
for weird. I'm not even going for roles right now. But yeah, it would be that. I mean, essentially, but also more importantly, I did it for stand-up more than I did because I've never gotten anything really in acting. One thing, but I got cut out. So I don't give a shit about the acting world because none of my money is from it. So I don't need it.
Yeah,
right. All of my money's from stand-up.
Are you saying I should wear suits to date so men respect me more? Is that
there'd be some guys that'd be down for that.
Hillary Nation?
Yeah, man.
Pantsuit Nation.
But no, it's that weird signal to the audience that the pro has arrived.
Yeah.
And when you end up like closing more shows, often you are the show. You're the name. So you have to kind of announce like, I am the show. This is me. And a suit does do that. Dressing up does let everyone know like I am the product.
Yeah,
But
there are a lot of specials with people in suits.
You're not the suit guy, though.
No, I love suits.
But I don't think I've seen you. Well, also, I've seen you like at clubs around LA.
Yeah, I've told myself I used to, for about a few months, I was going to suits to every show and then just a nice jacket. But now it's like if I'm doing past 30 minutes, I'll put on a full suit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But most of the time, now I'm getting back to t-shirts because the problem was is that, because now I got the haircut, so I can wear the t-shirt.
Yeah, balance
the balance.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because the idea was I started getting, people would tell me like, oh, you're a t-shirt hoodie guy. And I never wore that. But then I got what they meant. Like,
that's the
you think
idea.
I'm a stoner. You think I'm this.
Yeah.
You think, and I remember performing at a comedy club in Houston where the owner, I had already cut my hair and wore a suit, right? He's like, I saw your headshot back when you had long hair. That's what we received.
Yeah.
And I was already writing you off as one of these slacker skateboarder type comics. And what you did was amazing. So, so it's almost like in these clubs, they do judge us by our headshots.
Yeah.
Well, what am I bringing in? Oh, he looks like a fucking Gen Z comic who's going to be talking about Pokemon. So I wanted to erase that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, has Gen Zs may have made it onto the lineups?
No, but that's what they consider. People don't know that
Sorry, you're getting
when they
aged
talk
out.
about millennials, they're actually talking about Gen Z.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, millennials are like 19 to 36.
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
But I think some of us are still considered Gen Y.
I don't know.
Well, there's
We're the gray area
It's like a
between.
very
There's
weird.
like
there's
an in-between.
Zennials.
Yeah.
Zennials is the
I hate every part of this.
yeah.
That's so funny. But what you're saying is right. Like I have a friend who's like very like wide-eyed and like people always book her for clean comedy. And she's like, I don't do clean comedy. I just look like a clean comic.
Yeah. It's a struggle when you had to fight the stereotypes of what people immediately think you
I don't
are.
want to look like a pharmacist, so I have to actually dress down all the time. I wear pajamas on stage.
I hate. I also hate, but I hate that idea. Like I want the writing to speak for itself and to like prove itself.
You do, but
it's hard though.
They want to put you. They have to. See, the problem is that they haven't gotten the idea that comedy is just comedy.
Yeah.
Even though these people have seen my act, like for 10 years, I didn't say anything about me being Latino because I wanted to prove to these clubs that I could just be funny.
Yeah.
Right. But the minute they found that out, that's immediately how they started. Okay, well then give him Cinco de Mayo weekends. Give him that, you know.
You
and
get
it was like,
pigeonholed.
So that's like a thing that I was talking with another friend about. Like for women, especially, like I've heard from women and men, like don't wear dresses, don't like show your legs, don't do this, don't do that. And I've purposefully like worn whatever the fuck I wanted to wear on stage, like just to get comfortable. Because I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do in the future.
In the end, wear what makes you comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, and if you ever get to that place where you're like, I feel powerful in this type of clothing, wear the powerful clothing.
Yeah.
For me, it's a suit.
Yeah.
So whatever it is for you, because then you'll have that confidence, you'll have that swag of I feel comfortable and powerful.
Yeah.
And it'll actually translate very
So follow
stronger.
the feel good.
Follow your feel good, but
Yeah.
also follow your feel good powerful.
Okay.
You know, because
What's the
I
other
feel
feel
good in
good?
this.
Okay.
I would love to just wear hip hop shirts and be like, yo, I listen to hip hop, I'm down. But
But do you feel better in the suit?
I feel better in the suit.
So follow your feel best.
In the suit, I feel like I am the performer, and you
Yeah.
have to acknowledge
Yeah.
that. That's
I feel
how I
like
feel
that
in the
when
suit.
I'm like fake biker chick. When I have like my
Your
pleather
pleather.
jacket, my pleather jacket, because
No, I get what you're saying because like I often like I feel much smarter and I feel like people are listening to me when I'm wearing a blazer.
Yeah.
But then I'm also fighting the other thing where like I definitely look older when I'm wearing the blazer. So as a woman in Hollywood, I don't want to age myself.
Yeah.
But then I'm also like it's very hard. So when you're trying to do the acting and the Hollywood thing, it's like, all right, how do you want to
that
portray
is,
yourself?
of course, a separate thing.
Fizza wears the
Exactly.
pigtails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's more like I want to keep the hair out off my face and hide
So
my
that they
ears.
can see you. Yeah, of course. Well,
And,
that's a
like,
big part of it.
And then
see the
still
face.
have like length.
Yeah.
So the pigtails are working for now. They're working. I just sort of follow the feel good.
Follow the feel good.
Yeah.
Well, what you need to do is you need to follow the feel good so you gain the confidence to know that you're funny so that when you walk into a room, you are like, I am funny.
Yeah.
This audience will find out I'm funny. And a lot of comics don't prepare in that sense.
Yeah.
They don't give themselves the confidence. Like, it's like, write the easy jokes, write the hard jokes, dress in the feel good, get that confidence of being on stage.
Yeah.
So that when it's official, when it's like, yo, okay, you got to film 15 minutes for HBO, you kill it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I know what I'm doing. I have done this in every single form of dress. I've done this in every style that I want to do. I've approached it whether the mic is in the stand or not. I've killed it every single way. I know how to handle this.
Dress for the minutes you want.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. You got any other crazy advice?
I don't know what.
So you were on Last Comic Standing,
Yes.
right? How long? What year was that?
I don't even remember. To be honest, season 8.
Season 8.
Yeah.
How did your life change after that?
You know what? Being doing a primetime show brings in a different audience. So it was fun. It was good because I think Last Comic Standing, especially since they really put my face out there a lot, like I was in a lot of the advertisements, even though I got
cool.
eliminated.
You're like, he's got a young face.
It changed. Yeah, exactly. It did kick off. That kicked off with like NACA and everything.
Oh, cool.
You know, that got me more into that.
College game.
Yeah. I finally had a really legit clip because I had the Stand Up Revolution with Gabriel, which was also good for NACA because
Gabriel
Gabriel,
Iglesias.
How did you get connected to Gabriel?
just by being Latino.
Yeah.
Well, we run in that circle.
And then
We
you-
do all know each other.
It pretty
White
much
people.
is that. I mean,
You
it's
just got put on the same lineup at some point. You were like, I love you,
I
Fluffy.
got Mayo shows.
Yeah, but also I worked with all his people at
Okay.
some point.
Right.
You know, because
Right.
when you are Latino, you end up working with all these guys in
Right.
some way.
We have no
Yeah.
idea what you're talking about.
We have
working
no
with people in
idea.
the same culture.
But here's
Are you
the
guys
thing.
the same person?
They want us to be.
Yeah.
yeah.
They want it so hard, you know,
Yeah.
like they all want us to have the struggle story. Oh, my immigrant family came and we could barely make it and I'm They all want us
Yeah.
to have that.
Yeah.
I mean, my immigrant family struggled, but then by the time I was born, it was fine.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
None of us.
And that's such a weird story to people where they're like, well, what do you mean? It's like, what do you mean? What do I mean?
Pretty
I'm
stable
fine.
household.
Yeah.
I suffered so much when I went to so many dance classes that my parents paid
It
for.
blows people's mind because they want you to say, oh, none of my family speaks this language. I'm the first to,
Also, it's not validating other types of struggle. And that bothers
That's
me.
the other
we were
thing.
talking about that yesterday because there's some comics with like Tiffany Haddish's story is so inspiring because she had so many struggles that she went through and she had to like raise and like care for her family from the age of 9. And I was just like, that's like such a story you want to see. You want to see that person win. Like you want that person to be out there killing it. Like, and she seems like such a wonderful person. But then we were talking about it and I was like, I don't have a story like that at all.
Some struggles are more subtle, are more internal. There's so many different types of struggles. Of course, like, that's like a movie.
Yeah.
What she's been through.
Honestly, I think you could dress up, not to downplay Tiffany's work, because, like I commend her and I like tell everybody to read her book and whatever.
Someone's about to shit talk.
No,
Zara
loves. I love Tiffany.
Zara shit talks a lot of famous people.
Kidding,
she fucking loves Tiffany.
I love Tiffany so much.
We love Tiffany.
Go listen or watch or read The Last Black Unicorn. It was awesome.
yeah.
I laughed. I cried from laughing. Like, it was hilarious. But I feel like in Hollywood, you could turn any struggle into a movie.
Yeah.
Like you can make any struggle.
Well, Malibu's Most Wanted.
Exactly.
They turned a Malibu gangster
Exactly.
rapper into this is a story you need to hear.
And so I think
Beverly
that's
Hills
why,
Chihuahua.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's why like people love comedy, because it's just like turning like any sort of tragedy into laughs is what people want, right?
Well,
So
people want to be inspired in that sense
Exactly.
because all of us are dealing with depression.
Yeah.
So to see somebody still have fun, even though we are in a depressing world, excites people.
Yeah.
And then I
absolutely.
don't know if it really hurts them to know that, but I also lived okay.
Yeah. This is a thing I've run into within the comedy circle is that there's some people who like judge you for like if they think that you're like rich or like well off or whatever. They're like, you didn't, there's a few people I'm thinking about, but they're like, you didn't struggle, you didn't like earn
You're
this,
not homeless. You have no idea how to be funny.
Well, that's
you're responsible. Like
That's an insecurity
different things.
because
Yeah,
it makes
of
them
course.
feel like their struggle is not valid for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It's not you. It's not your struggle. It's their judgment of
there
it.
was a Kristen Shaw like said she was in an interview and people were like talking about like comedians and depression and stuff and they were like, do you have to go through tragedy? Do you have to be depressed to be funny? And she's like, I'm always been pretty happy. It's like, no, there's no box for it.
Well, and also because they want to hear that. Because in people's heads, it's like, just tell me that you've been through some shit because you are so fun.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes you more likable if you have like some
The
sort of-
Care Bears had to live in a cave.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's like, you guys don't live in a nice house, right? In a cave? Okay. Well,
Okay,
glad
fine.
you care.
That's so funny.
But did you ever have that early on, or did you have that at any point in your comedy career where people are just kind of hating on you or just giving you a hard time without even actually knowing you or trying to befriend you?
I think we all do, but especially if you get in, like, well, first off, because I am a Latino male comic, Latino men are very jealous. So yes.
Wait, Latino men?
Yeah, well, they are extreme. A lot of people are, but when you're in their realm, they feel like you are taking the one spot.
Oh, so it's very competitive.
Very much.
Yeah,
so.
you guys also have there can only be one mentality that's been imposed on you.
Subscribe to the idea of a lack. Like not everyone can have.
But the problem
their
is because most of them sound the same. That's the problem.
There it is.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody has that kind of jealousy, it's like, well, you're just not writing in your own voice. That's it.
Do people get mad at you because of the suit? They're like, oh, you're just trying to be different in your suit.
They want to say every part of your success is other than the fact that you're talented.
Yeah.
So yes, I did have people hating on the suit for a bit. And I was like, I just like the suit. It fits. But they kept trying to figure it out. I've heard other things that people said, but it's usually just innocent ball busting, nothing too big.
Yeah.
But in my head, it's because I like it. Right. And then like Louis C.K. put out an interview where he's like, I'm starting to wear suits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I put that out there like, see, guys, sometimes you just fucking wear them.
Yeah.
And a comic immediately like, you don't have to wear a suit in order to change. I'm like, you don't have to. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that stop questioning it.
I feel like I hadn't experienced that much high school drama until I started comedy at 27.
It's weird. Well, it's because let's say, like when you are funny,
Yeah.
they don't want to credit that to you.
Yeah.
They want to be, well, it's because you're female.
Yeah.
Well, it's because you guys all work together. Well, it's because they never say it's because they're funny.
I've gotten it's also
It's all
your
insecurity.
you're pretty and you have some jokes. And I'm like, oh, okay, thanks.
So it's because I have jokes. Just say it's
I
because
have
I have
jokes.
jokes.
I have
The jokes are second to being pretty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Well,
like, no, I have jokes, motherfucker.
But I feel like they're saying it because of their own feelings of feeling unfunny. So it's like they got to make you unfunny.
Yeah.
It's also like there are some comics that are fucking hilarious and they don't get booked as much as I do, but it's literally because I can look people in the eye and like talk to people and like I'm not like shitty to people. You know, there's some comics who like don't understand. They know that they're funnier than I am, but they don't understand like what the difference is. Yeah, or they just don't have the skill set.
You can't
like,
hang in the green room.
Yeah, but it's like, or they don't have like I'm lucky in that like I've had a previous career where I've had to be organized and I've had to like use Google Calendar.
So we don't. You have executive skills.
Yeah.
So they don't have like the other skill set that you need to like book all these shows and like keep in contact with people. And then they're like, I don't know why the fuck you're getting booked. Like you're not as funny
you're
as
also
I am.
you're good at she's our COO of facial recognition comedy. She's very good at like getting everything together, all the administration, reaching out to people, knowing when things are due, when deadlines are
operations,
all the operations. So like that definitely helps her, and also like when she gets into the room and on the stage, she's amazing. So like she has every skill set to back it up. So when people start hating out of it's like, do you even know how hard people work? Because all that stuff is hard work too.
Well, usually those people are frustrated.
Yeah.
And I've told comics, I'm like, frustration is knowing what you need to do and not doing it. Mm-hmm. That's why you're frustrated. You know what you need to do.
That's so true. Yeah.
Yeah. But they don't want to because they're lazy. Like I had a buddy, I don't know if you guys know him, Mark Agee. He, so he wrote for Jeselnik Offensive, wrote for Comedy
Texas
Knockout.
Comic, right?
Yeah. And back in Texas, he used to work for the Dallas Observer. Right. And he told me back then, he was like, when we all came out to LA, because he started getting writing jobs, he's like, I'm not funnier than you guys. But thanks to me working at the Dallas Observer, I know how to meet deadlines. That's the only difference.
And there are a lot of comics out here who like didn't go to college or whatever and didn't have to like meet those didn't get that training. Yeah. It's all a skill set.
Yeah,
it's
it
like
is
stuff you just have to practice. And like there are things in comedy that I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I just like keep trying to like get better at it. But yeah,
I don't see that too much in like other markets, but in LA, I think you just get like a slew of people from all different types of backgrounds. Like in New York, there's a certain kind of like everybody's kind of on a hustle and grind or whatever. Everybody also has like some kind of crazy day job because it's way more expensive out there, and even in San Francisco and stuff. So, but when I come out here, it's like people who just don't even know how to like common decency on stage, or if they get hecklers immediately thrown out of the stage, or they just and it's just, and these are like celebrity comics. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, you can't do that. You just destroyed your brand in this room of 300 people. Yeah. Like people in LA are probably going to think that you're a jerk. Yeah. Do you really want that? And I think that's what, it's just like personality. Like how do you want to, it's kind of tied to branding. Like, how do you want to appear? It is,
definitely. Yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned that about LA, because if you really think about the personality that comes to LA, all of us, everybody that comes to LA is like, I'm going to take over. Yeah. Some of us are like, I'm going to work hard to take over. And some people are like, I'm here. You did. So that's
I'm already amazing.
I'm already amazing. Yeah. And that's the weirdness that we get. And then there's guys that are like, I'm hustling to take over, so. It's a fucking, it's strange, isn't it?
It's a mess of different personalities for sure.
And I think the fact that there are so many different paths to like fame and success is like really throws people off, because if they like see someone get something, like they would not have gotten it that way. Like they would not have made that YouTube video that went viral, but they're still jealous.
They're jealous.
But it's like you wouldn't have, that's not your path. Like your path is something else.
That's all it is. We can't follow the same path. Yeah. And it's funny because I've been telling guys about like podcasting and videos and stuff like that. Before we had the chance to basically self-publish, because that's what podcasting and all that is. Comics back then had the excuse of, well, I'm not on the Tonight Show, that's why I'm not getting nothing. I'm not. And then when this started happening, they were like, fuck, I got no excuse anymore. And so the older heads are getting frustrated because in the end they have to sit and say, I'm the reason that I didn't get anything.
It's a new skill set also, so I can see how it would be a bit of an
It's coal miners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the coal mine. It's coal miners that were offered the education to go work in the nuts. Nope, I've been working coal for 23 years.
Make comedy great again.
That's it.
Not evolving.
It's like they got to come back to the way we did it.
That's so crazy.
Well, there was a comic at the mic last night, or the show last night, who he was sort of an old head, and he was talking about how new comics just are okay with bombing, and then he proceeded to bomb.
And he bombed so hard.
Oh, wow.
And then he was
couldn't
yelling
take
at us. He kept telling us, okay, this time I'm going to say this joke. You got to laugh.
Oh, yeah.
It was, you know.
Yeah.
And when someone's trying to prompt you to laugh, it's just like,
Of course, yeah. That's dumb. Where was this at?
I don't.
Yeah, no comment.
I don't
Was
wanna
it your
shame
show?
anyone.
No. It's
Okay,
just
good.
it's a bar show.
We book good.
Oh, bar
we
shows.
book people who aren't like crazy people.
No. Oh, I'll say it. I mean, it's a great comic hangout. Monday nights was last night. Monday night.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
PD's place, Tarzana. It's a great place
Okay.
to hang out and
It's
try out
just
your material.
Somebody.
Yeah.
that-
Another
yeah.
person,
Yeah.
not the booker.
Yeah.
We all know that guy. We all know that type of guy.
Yeah. There's always that like 90s, 80s comic that comes out and kind of like yells at all of us for not knowing how to do comedy and then
Yeah.
bombs.
I do real comedy. I know how to be real.
You see how he's sort of pointing the finger outside of himself, like the problem's you, the problem's you,
Yeah.
the problem's you. But you're bombing.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you
This
guys-
is not funny, bro. Give it up.
Do you guys ever have this issue?
Scathing.
Like I've been, like I think because I've just been watching so much comedy, so many hours of it, and so many different comedians.
Oh, no.
I have this problem where sometimes like a room will laugh, and I'll just be like, I don't even know what funny is
Yes.
anymore. Like, because I'll watch it and I'm like, I see where the punchlines are. I see that he can write well, but it's a dude talking about cheating, and I'm tired of this topic.
Yeah.
Like I'm bored with
You're
this
done with it.
perspective.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that,
But it like it gets all the like everybody's laughing, and I'm just like, I can't handle this. Right? Like it's
Yeah.
not funny.
Well,
to
that's
me.
what makes you a comic.
yeah, it's
You're beyond it.
It's an occupational hazard. Like
Yeah.
once because you know where all the punchlines are going, like it's not unexpected for you.
Yeah.
Like we laugh when things are unexpected
Yeah.
or fun, you know.
But
and-
I guess I'm
even
tired
if you
of the
weren't a
perspective.
comic, you would have that mindset anyway. Like, have you ever seen like old 80s specials where there's people there like watching Hal Mandel act fucking ridiculous, and they're like, I don't get this. Those are the type of people that you are. That
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
no, this doesn't work for me. I don't know why you are laughing, you know?
Yeah, it's just sometimes I'm just like, do I even know what comedy is anymore? Because I'm just like, and then I'll go up and I like won't get that he'll be killing, and I like go up and I don't get that reaction, and I'm like, well, like I feel weird now. Like,
Well,
judging him
it
and-
depends on what the punchlines are. Was it nostalgia punchline? Was it a punchline completely based in just mentioning old things? You know?
Yeah.
Was it an actual punchline written in a situation? Was it just shock? You know, like we all know the different styles.
It's like
I play that
analogy,
game.
punchlines,
Yeah.
things like
So I'll do that. I'll do that if I'm like forced to. Like I don't like watching comedy because it's not like inspiring anymore unless it's like someone I really truly enjoy.
Did you watch the new Netflix thing? What's it called?
I like that. She said it like a grandma. Did you watch the new Netflix?
Did you get I can't log in.
Tail End Millennial.
Are you talking about Nanette?
No, the stand-up.
The
Oh,
stand-up.
the comedy
lineup.
lineup. No,
Comedy
I'm waiting
lineup for it.
comedy
Like,
lineup with
I have to-
Jack Knight and Sam J and
Yeah,
Taylor
Sabrina
Tomlinson.
Jalise. Like I'll watch it if I need to be in the mood for it because
Yeah.
if I'm around it like 7-8 times a week, like I just I need to. Like,
I have to
I
be
loved
excited
it.
too.
I have to be excited.
very
I love
But-
watching comedy because I like right now I think I'm so stressed by like what's happening in the world that I like I seek comedy online, and usually with Netflix, like if I know who's doing the stand up, like the comedy lineup was really good. Like there were a lot of good
I
people, so
think
I was like, I'm gonna like this.
It's so adorable that she finds
She's so
escape in
cute.
comedy still.
I still
I'm
do.
jealous. I'm
She's
jealous.
so, I miss
still
those
do.
days.
But you know what? I did have a moment with the comedy lineup though, where
Yeah.
like I got through, or I didn't get through,
And then
but I
it said,
enjoyed.
"Are you still watching?"
See, that's
But I enjoyed Taylor's,
Yeah.
Jack's, Sam, Jay's, and I started watching Sabrina Jalise. I'm going to finish that.
Okay.
We're trying to get her on the August show.
Yeah, she hasn't emailed me back yet. But so here's the thing. But like when you're at these shows, it's like sometimes you have to watch. There's no green room. You can't escape. I tend to escape in a corner and like get ready mentally or whatever. But
But you always pay attention. Even last night, you were watching the whole time.
I pay attention because I mean you guys are all my friends, right?
Yeah.
So if I can like figure out a tag or whatever. So this is the game I play. Like I find out like if I'm listening to comedy, it's like, all right, was that a pun? Like why was that funny? Was that a misdirect? Was it a pun, like the same thing that you were saying, like why did this punchline work? Was it the delivery? Was it something else? Was it like
was it just the fact that people think they're funny because they're presenting the character?
Are they doing a character? Is it really truly the writing that's funny? So like I play that game because it keeps me awake at 1 a.m. when I'm like waiting to get up. And two, like it keeps my
it's a mental exercise.
It keeps my brain going. And it also helps my friends if they need like tags or whatever. So.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny. A friend of mine called me the joke mechanic. Because people can take their, like, I've been helping people figure out late night sets. Yeah, because I'm like, I was listening to a comic's late night set that he wanted to submit. And in the first joke, I was like, you literally took us to 3 different places. You took us to Egypt, France, and back to Brooklyn, this and that. And you took us to do different time zones. And
that's exhausting.
And I explained, like, this is a lot for the brain in that much. So you've got to choose a location.
Yeah.
You've got to sit with this, you know, and that's how I look at jokes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what is actually being said? And as an audience member, what am I trying to imagine in order to get your joke?
Yeah.
So do you write your comedy like that? Do you try to make it as like simple and clean as possible? Like you don't make the audience work too hard to get to your joke?
Yeah, I don't give them a lot of obstacles.
Okay.
I want them to know exactly what I'm hitting at, you know? And I learned that I read Stephen King's On Writing. Have you read that book?
I haven't.
Yeah.
It's a great book. You read it, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, the second draft is the first draft minus 10%. You know, don't describe everything. Let them imagine it. Just get it out there. The whole rabbit with a 9 on it, right? So that's kind of how I think, right? And I noticed it in a joke I used to have, or I still do, about shoplifting. So when I first wrote this joke about shoplifting, I talked about how I would shoplift donuts from ice cream was the first punchline. It's like, yeah, because if I got ice cream, you know, and I eat it before I get to the front of the line, I'm going to take it, whatever, right? And it would get chuckles. And then I would tag it up with, yeah, because if I got a donut, then there was a night where I only had a short set. So instead of saying ice cream, I just went to donut. And it got a huge laugh. And then I realized, I was like, oh, ice cream means so many things to different people. Some people think bowl, some people think cone, some people think popsicle. They don't know what you're getting at. Like he's walking up with a bowl of ice cream, like they don't get it. Donut is singular.
Imagery.
It hits it. It's done. There's no questions what a donut is.
So you think something, what people imagine, the visuals very important.
Yeah, like how many things are you putting in their way for them to understand what you're getting at?
Yeah.
You know?
It's weird how comedy is like a weird balance between what's universal and what's esoteric. Like the specifics are important, but it has to be relatable to everyone. It has to have like that feeling that hits with them. It's such a hard balance to get.
If the specific is so on point, everyone will get it.
Yeah.
You know? And I do... It's funny, I'll write jokes where I have what I call the general punchline, the specific punchline for everybody, and then I'll have the added tag that may have a different imagery, but even the people that don't know what I'm talking about have gotten the first joke, so they understand this is the other part of it.
Yeah.
You know, and I do that on purpose. Like I'll give here's the general one, now here's the real specific for nerds.
Yeah. For your people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super fun.
So when are we starting the interview?
No idea. This is just us taking notes at this point.
Yeah, we're just learning.
No, I'm sorry. I'm actually trying to write a book about all the mess in my head about stand-up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, just so I'm like, it's out there if you guys want it.
That's awesome.
Why is it such a mess? You feel like you've had a crazy journey in comedy?
Yeah, a little bit. But also because since I do have that weird mind, like people come to me for advice and this and that, and to me, it just sits in my head. I have nothing to do with it. If I keep it in my head, I might as well just tell people.
You have a lot of information to share. And
you know, like the whole idea of Suits and which move to make to New York, LA, and how you know when it, like, I want to call it the first 5, which is basically describing how to handle the first 5 years of stand-up.
That's cool.
You know?
So have you had that like internal debate in your mind? Like New York, LA?
Yeah, I did. And all signs pointed to LA. But now I wouldn't mind going to New York. But I did take into consideration before I moved out here, because a buddy of mine went to New York and I went to LA, right? You know, and I just noticed that all of my connections ended up being LA connections.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, before I moved, I was like, I have more people out here for me, so I might as well go there.
Well, also for you, like when you were first starting out, were you labeled a Latin comic right away and you had to do all those rooms?
Yeah.
So you probably had
Right
so much
from
more.
the jump.
So you had all those opportunities in California.
Yeah. I met a lot of California comics that way.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because they put us in the Southwest. They put us all together in the same room.
How long have you been doing comedy?
For 13 years now. Yeah, I believe so.
So you started when you were 9?
Yes. yes.
That's so great. What would you do if you weren't doing comedy? Like when you were a kid?
I don't know.
You don't know?
That's the thing. I wonder that myself. And what are we doing? Well, what happened? Whoa.
Oh,
we're 30 minutes into the podcast.
He just wants to give us numbers.
Oh, all right.
He's trying to be subtle.
Don't flash signs behind Nick. He'll
I was like, whoa,
thought you were giving him the
homie,
light.
what's up, bro? What's up?
PTSD.
That's strong peripheral, though.
Yeah.
Happening.
I got to now, man. I got punched.
Shall we?
Yeah,
let's talk about that. You got
get
punched.
into it.
What are you guys wondering about it?
Okay.
Wait, so you got punched by another comic?
Yes.
What's the setup to
where?
this?
What
Yeah,
happened?
what the hell?
Oh, man.
What were you doing?
What were you wearing? How were you asking?
I was
for it?
asking for it.
Where were you? And
Well, let's just say that this comic, I don't know what his problem is with me other than bitter and jealous, right? Not sure exactly what it is.
So we've confirmed it's a he.
It's a he.
He
Of course.
identifies as okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think any
Zara
female
doesn't hate
I don't think
men.
any female comic is threatened by me.
No, I
Well,
don't
now
know.
that you have my haircut, I am.
Oh yeah, all right. I don't think they're getting my gigs, and I'm not getting theirs. I think we have distinct markets. But
So he feels threatened.
This is a Latin comic?
yes,
So I know who it is. I'm
a
not going to say
veteran
anything.
Latin comic who has done a lot of things, but has this aggression. He's punched another comedian before.
Yeah.
He's
Oh.
threatened other comics.
That's his
I'm
brand.
not the first
He's
one.
the punchin' comic.
Yeah.
Look out for the punchin' comic.
That's what it is.
Month
Well,
on HBO.
I think it takes 3 to make a pattern. So
Well, then there's gonna be one more.
yeah.
Other
But,
Latin comics, watch out.
They all kind of do.
Oh,
they
man.
know.
Wow.
They know the risk.
So
And,
were you on a show with this guy?
At one point, we had worked together. Because he likes to mentor people, and sometimes
like you got a twist from the hips.
Actually, we did go to the gym together.
Oh,
and we,
no,
yeah.
really?
But the thing
Wow.
is that I think the problem is that when you're dealing with somebody who has a big ego and has that male machismo, they want you to be lesser than them
Yeah.
because that's the power they have. And then when you kind of match them, they feel threatened by it. Like, you're not really a mentee, you're a peer.
I think I know
Yeah.
who this is.
I've definitely heard of comics who book their openers and they make sure that they're not as funny as they are.
Yeah.
And they purposefully do that.
Yeah.
common.
Which is the
It
stupidest
doesn't
thing
make
in the
sense.
world.
I
me at
don't
all.
respect headliners who do that.
Yeah.
No.
You need
I
to
see
have
that
a
on lineups
good
all the
show.
time.
Like, what are
Yeah.
you doing? Up your game.
Yeah. It's just insecurity, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just cut to this. I had 2 other incidents with that guy. This time it was after my last
2 other
show,
incidents where it was just like a mouth off.
where I knew that he had problems, with, but
verbal?
I'm a
Okay.
respectful
Mouth
dude.
off,
I
the
actually
prequel to
never,
Face Off.
I actually never mouthed off with this guy
Yeah.
Okay.
because I never saw it coming because I
Okay.
didn't think we had problems.
Okay.
He sucker punched you.
Well, he sucker punched me that time, or the third time.
Okay, so like you had 2 incidents before where he was
And
off with you or he said something?
Yeah,
Or-
where I
okay.
could see that he had something wrong
Okay.
with me. So
Okay.
after the second incident, I just avoided him in every way possible.
Okay, and this
If
was
they-
here in LA or somewhere on the road?
This was in LA. The incident I'm gonna talk about was on the road.
Okay.
Right. So I avoided him in any way. In fact, like if I heard he was on a lineup, I would just tell the promoter, like, yo, I can't do it, whatever. Let him keep the money. I don't give a shit. I just don't want to be around this guy. Just didn't give him any contact, right?
Yeah.
People, when they are upset with you, they don't like when you don't acknowledge them.
I've noticed that. I ice
That's
people out
funny.
if they have
They
an
get
issue with me.
very upset.
They want a reaction. They
Yeah.
want any amount of attention.
Well, the problem is with people who want reactions is that when you are actually just
I do that all
they're
the
just
time.
like, come give me something, because it justifies. They
Yeah.
need you to react.
Yeah.
So they can say, I told you were an asshole. That's all they want to say.
Yeah.
Right? And that's kind of how I got punched, because I went to go eat at this diner after my show, right? This guy was driving from Corpus to Las Vegas. So I was in El Paso. That's a 14-hour drive from Corpus to El Paso. Somehow he got off on the same exit
No, what?
near the club.
He took a detour?
He took a detour, stopped in El Paso, ended up in the same restaurant as me. Not sure how he knew I was there. Not sure if it was a coincidence, right?
Weird.
Do the comics usually end up at that diner? though after that gig?
Possibly.
Yeah.
It was a diner near the club.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he went going to look at the club and then go.
Yeah. Usually when you're on the road, your options are very limited.
Yeah,
Right.
but exactly.
Okay.
But
All right.
not really.
Okay.
He had 14 hours to decide where to eat.
I'm sure you've tried to rationalize this.
I've
so
seen
many
it.
ways,
I've seen
right?
it in the coincidence way, and I've seen it in the blatant I'm looking for him way, right?
Yeah.
So
And where do you think this lands in that spectrum?
I think it landed in he was looking for me, didn't see me at the comedy club, just happened to pop into the restaurant, and I was
and
there.
it all worked out for him.
Yes, I think he went looking for me at the comedy club.
Okay.
Damn.
And
Got
nobody
it.
was hanging out outside,
Okay.
and then just ended up in that restaurant, right?
Did you see him in the restaurant before it
I
happened?
saw him,
Okay.
and I was sitting facing the door,
Yeah.
and I saw him, and I didn't
Were
know
you
it was
by
him.
yourself?
No, I was with my feature,
Okay.
and he was with his feature, who's also a friend of mine,
Yeah.
right?
Good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I told my feature, let's switch. Because I just don't want him to think that I saw him and maybe we could just ignore each
Yeah.
other. I can eat and I can leave and we don't have to say hi or anything to him. So I switched seats to not talk to him,
Yeah.
not even notice him. He came over purposely, pretended I wasn't there, said hello to my feature, like a bully.
Yeah.
He wanted me to know he was there.
Yeah.
Right? And then he walked over like he didn't see me sitting there. Like, I'm like, it's a booth, bro. You know I'm fucking
Yeah.
here. Right? His feature came up to say hi to me, right? So this is what he did. He went up to my feature and was like, hey, man, I love working with you. I think you're a great comic. Great to see you on the road. Walks back to his booth. My feature comes up to me. I mean, his feature came up to me and I was like, hey, man, what's up? Hey, I wanted to say you're a great comic. I love seeing you on the road. Hope to work with you soon.
Yeah.
Right? And that's when he heard that.
Oh.
And he was like, really, Nick? And he fucking came over, cornered me in my booth. He's like, you gonna fucking mock me, bro? And I was like, yeah. And that's when he punched me.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so you said what he said to, and then he overheard that.
Because I was like, bro, I know you were here.
Yeah.
But I didn't
Yeah.
think he was gonna fucking punch me, you know?
Oh, so you were poking him.
I poked a little.
Yeah.
Very little.
I'm not saying
But
you were
that's so
asking for
little.
it.
That's
Oh,
so
yeah,
subtle in a
That did
comic
not
way.
merit a punch
Yeah.
at all.
Because it would have been different. I was like, fuck you, fuck that, bro.
Yeah.
Come over here. I didn't say any
No.
of that.
I mean, if you think about it, we roast each other much
Yeah.
worse than that on a daily basis
Yeah,
all the time, all day long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he couldn't take it.
I was just
He couldn't take
curious,
that
yeah.
simple, tiny
Then
little
what-
ball busting.
Then what happened after he punched you?
They pulled him off of me. He got in his car. See, El Paso was right next to New Mexico, so he was gone. They were right back on the road.
Were you
out of the
injured?
state.
Did you have to like go?
I mean,
go get
my
treatment?
face was a little.
You had a scratch.
No. I just you've tender.
Yeah,
And
okay.
my shoulder, up until today, this is like May 27th. It still hurts,
Oh,
but the
man.
pain's
Oh,
going
this
away.
just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So the biggest thing was my shoulder up until now is still. It was worse when it first happened, but now it's slowly.
No,
getting
not
better.
your
Did you-
mic shoulder.
did
no.
you-
I know my fucking right hand.
Did you fall? Did you fall on
No,
your
it was,
shoulder?
I
Did
think it
something
was
happen?
from me holding him back.
Oh, okay.
Or from the like.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like when you get hit, that moves your head in a way
Yeah.
that it's not supposed to
And
be.
he's
Yeah.
a big dude, right?
Yeah.
He's
He's a 50-something-year-old man. He's like 5 inches taller than me, 100 pounds more than me. Like, and I was sitting down, and he fucking he had every gain in that. And I didn't punch back because I don't fight.
yeah.
That's the first time I've ever been punched in my life.
Wow.
That's how non-aggressive I
I
am.
mean, you're such a likable guy. Like, well, I don't understand. It's just
When
so
you-
confusing to me.
when you have a strong personality,
Yeah. That's it.
even if, and I don't mean strong as in I'm in your face, just I am put together, that feels like a threat to people with weaker minds.
Oh, is that why people hate me?
That's what I was.
Pretty much.
That's like I've been having that issue where I have like a couple people that have an issue with me, and then I ice them out, and it
Yeah.
pisses them off.
It's because
they're aggressive. They're kind of scary.
because they need you.
Yeah.
And you intimidate them because they feel like fools, but you're like, no, I'm just not.
I'm not aggressive.
giving you
I'm not
anything.
going to participate in this.
Yeah.
You're not aggressive.
I'm combative. No,
Combative.
I'm kidding. That's like my brand now, I guess.
It happened.
but-
You know what's so funny? It's equivalent to, because it happens to a lot of women, right? In the
Yeah.
sense of you turn down a guy, all of a sudden he's like, fuck you, bitch. Like, but I'm
Yeah.
not interested.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's that
You're
same
like, you're
thing.
not bothering me. You're not a
You're
part
not
of my world.
You're not
I'm
anything
not
I like.
thinking
I
about
don't
you.
care about you.
I'm
and
doing my
some
own
people
shit.
go nuts, and then they 32
oh my goodness.
texts.
Yeah.
I can't believe you're like to fuck you to this.
It's a little
I've
exhausting.
gotten that before.
Yeah.
It's a little exhausting when people are trying to pull validation out of you, and you didn't ask to be part of that.
Yeah.
It's just like the dude who was bombing, who was like, "Okay, guys, you need to laugh." Like that was such a
Yeah.
I tried. We were
We
sitting
all
there.
gave a valiant
Yeah.
effort to laugh.
Yeah. And he was like, should I do this trick? I'm like, just do something. I want to laugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's more subtle ways when people are poking at you and
There's
they want to get a
lot.
response. That's a type of validation because it's like, oh, acknowledge I
Well,
exist.
it's
also-
that whole thing of any attention's better than no attention.
Also, how are you dealing with the fallout? Because I know you like posted about it, and I feel like within comedy, there's no HR, and there are a lot of people who take sides or are like two-faced about it.
So there,
like, how do you deal with the
there
fallout?
was a few
'Cause I have
people
issues, too.
that came at me like kick the guy down. You know what I'm saying? Kick him while he's down. So
Really?
I got like a few comics
like,
that
he
started.
probably
you
has
deserve
people.
it, fucking karma, right? No,
He has
they just-
people in his camp or whatever.
that,
and
but
you have people
also
on-
they hated me because I'm more successful. See, that's the other thing. The jealous people lashed out at me because it was finally their chance.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that they don't have over me is my career.
Yeah.
So that frustrates them. Like, you know how many emails I've gotten where people are like, I get it, man. Maybe I don't have fucking credits. Maybe I'm not as fucking good as you, whatever. I'm like, why are you saying this? So
But you said maybe I'm not as good as you.
there's an insecurity, right? So when you get knocked down as a strong person, the insecure people want to jump in and do a few kicks.
Does it ever bother you? So like the thing that bothers me is that there are people who like don't know me personally who like are pissed at me because of they're on the other side or whatever. And it bothers me because I want people to know me and then hate me. You know what I mean? Like,
That's how I feel.
I want like if you don't like who I am, I get it. But like you don't even know me. Like what's your perception?
Give me the
of
chance
Give me
to
the
make you
chance
hate.
to
I'll
piss you off.
make you hate me if you want it.
Yeah,
You know?
but I mean,
You're just a projection of whatever the fuck they want
I'm
you
like,
to be.
I'm like, I think this is a thing that's a pet peeve with me.
Yeah.
I'm like, honesty, truth, and facts are important to me. If you have all of those and you still don't like me, then that's not my problem. But
Exactly.
like, it just, I don't know how to approach it because people like mad dog you and like, you know, they keep their distance.
Well,
and
let's say
stuff.
I'm
this.
hoping
You
she
don't-
doesn't get sucker punched.
Oh, hopefully not. Let's
know.
say you have, like
You
you
are
said,
combative.
you have this issue.
I have opinions.
And we have no HR department, but in the end, you are your brand.
Yeah.
You are your company. So when I posted it on Facebook, that was a purposeful thing, as in, I'm going to let this out. Because first off, if you do something to me, that's my story. I
Yeah.
can say it to whoever I want.
Yeah.
And also, this is a message to everybody out there who has this weird beef with me. If
Yeah.
you try to do something, I will post everything about it. I will tell everyone.
Nothing
so
to hide.
I kind of like put the flag down of don't even be a part of my life if you don't want to be talked about.
Yeah.
If you want to have beef with me, I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, and you
Yeah.
kind of have to do that. And also the other thing is you can't affect my career because I've grown it without you.
Yeah.
Like-
Okay.
I love that part. I
That
love
part
that
makes me
last
feel
part.
a lot
for
better.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, if you know you got your career, they can't take anything from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, I'm gonna take this away from you.
I think that's the hard part, especially for women in the first year and a half of doing comedy. Like you don't know, like being honest about your experiences or, you know, dudes that have like touched you or harassed you
It's
or
tough.
whatever. It's super hard.
Yeah.
Like I've only started being honest about stuff that's happened like early on now, and there are repercussions because of it. But if I had said the stuff that had happened within the first few months of me doing comedy, I feel like I wouldn't have had anything. So you have to be strategic about being honest about your experiences even.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you kind of do, and some people don't get that. It's like,
Well, there were years where when stuff happened, it was if you told someone, they were like, well, that's just how he is.
Men and women.
yeah.
would say,
Hey,
yeah.
that's what it is.
Men and women, yeah.
I think now we are in a time, especially when you get to a place where you're a little bit more, you have your base.
Yeah.
And people know that you're a good person,
Yeah.
then they trust you. And as long as people know that you're good and that you don't do this type of stuff,
this isn't like a consistent behavioral trait. It's like a problem
it's
with
on
one
them.
person or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
And I think, okay, so this guy, oh, he's taking pictures.
Nick's like
Candid.
every time Paul
Candid.
moves, Nick's like ready to fight.
So this
He's like-
guy,
You still have some PTSD?
this
You
guy
can
had
tell he's like looking behind him. He's like, all right, what's happening?
this guy had punched another comic, but that comic was a trained fighter.
Whoa.
So that
Did he
comic
know that
got
when
a
he
few.
punched it?
Yes.
You guys know who he is, but I'm not going to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
So he got him right, handled it a little bit. They separated him. He whoops, almost said his name. The assaulter left, right, but not a lot of people heard about that because this guy's a trained fighter. So like, oh, he could handle it. With me, I'm a littler person.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why I also put it out because I'm like, no, this guy also just attacks.
Yeah.
You know, and for the past few years, he's been going around telling everybody, I'm a changed man. I'm different. I'm at peace. And it's like, then why are you sucker punching Nick Guerra?
So what I thought was very interesting about the response you got, there was a lot of support, but there were also a lot of men who were like, kick his ass.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Be a man. I'm like, nah, man.
There's a lot of
it's
that.
It's that machismo, that fucking street rules.
like,
Don't
what?
snitch. I'm like, we're not in prison, fool.
Also, like we have careers to care about.
Yeah.
Like we have things on the line.
Yeah.
That's like that's what my approach is. Like I haven't like I've slowly told a few people that I cared about a certain like these experiences that I've had, and I'm not blasting it out there because there have been like retaliation and there's been stuff, and I just ice it out.
Yeah.
Like I just ice everything out. I just keep doing what I'm doing, and like, but yeah, there are people who are like, be confrontational, and I'm like, no, I don't
there's
do
no
that.
reason. It doesn't help.
Why?
That's
There's
my
no
thing
game.
about
I
confrontation.
don't want to spend any more energy or time or thought in this. I have shit to do.
Yeah.
But I also have such a strong base that immediately we're like, no, you're stupid. And they went after these people for me. So it's kind of like that. If people know you're genuine and you're not a troublemaker, they will defend you. Even when someone's like, you should have done something. On the same post as when I called out the rapist, right? And,
Oh, that happened shortly after.
Yeah.
Wait, add me on Facebook. I need to see all
There's
this
another
shit.
rapist?
There was
I
a
had to
lot
hide
of
it.
drama that week.
There was a lot of that because I was
exposure.
I was done holding on to these fucking, holding on to it.
Good for
I was
you.
done about knowing it.
I feel like your timeline is just turning into like a Netflix soap opera.
Except my friend request. I need to know the
I'm sorry.
rapist.
I will. I'll tell you
I wanna watch
afterwards.
all day.
Okay.
Right? So people started attacking me alongside that, right? So the same guys that were hating before, jealousy, they even went to go attack the girl when they found out who the girl was.
Why
Like,
do they do
you did
that?
And that's,
They,
what's funny to
as soon
me.
as they find out that somebody's being accused of something, they're like, who's the victim? What was she like? They're
Yeah,
like,
they wanna know all
They
that.
investigate her more than they investigate the guy.
If they have a loyalty to him, they're protective
Yeah.
of him. That's I think
it's
their
just so
point
painful.
of view. Yeah.
In that moment, it's funny because like you said, the weird backlash from the machismo men, I was like, oh my God, they're attacking me like I was the victim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, good, attack me. Because the truth is, you're defending a rapist.
Yeah.
I'm not the fucking victim. But
Yeah.
I will call you out.
It's
and I will
weird.
point out how much you look stupid for defending the rapist. And that's what I did. I took all the screenshots. I'm like, look at these people defending the
Yeah.
rapist. Look at what they're saying to my sister. Because my whole thing is, since I'm not the victim, then what the fuck, you shooting in the wrong direction,
You have nothing to
homie.
lose.
Yeah. Whereas the actual victim, we talked, she kind of like, she was happy it was out, but she was happy I didn't say anything because she didn't want to be attacked.
That's a lot.
So I took the attack.
I feel that way. Like I have my own issues with specific people in comedy, but I've noticed this pattern of like women who have certain issues with men in comedy. Like it sucks to like be in the crossfire of your own shit, but we all like take the bullet for each other. You know what I mean? Like we're all willing, if it's somebody else's shit, we're willing to step in because we're like, fuck this. But when it's our own shit, we're like, oh no, like there might be something more at stake here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's tough.
Yeah, it's harder. It's,
Because it literally is putting yourself out there in that I'm vulnerable.
Yeah, exactly.
I along with shit, I said his name.
we can edit it out. We're gonna edit it out.
With that whole incident, it's basically like I am so secure at where I'm at in my career. I know that none of these guys can do anything to affect it.
Yeah.
So I had no problem, and I still do. I will defend people that I feel have something coming against them because I think people look at me as a valid source. I'm not just making drama up.
Yeah.
Like there was another female comic who was at the Comedy Store being harassed by a guy. She was walking her car and he started chasing her.
Yeah.
She saw me. I ducked into Pink Dot with her.
Yeah.
And just, like, hey, we'll just wait it out here. And I kind of saw him pass.
Yeah.
Right. And I was just making sure the coast is clear. And as soon as it was and she felt better, I walked to the store. I told a few people, gave the picture. And since I'm a trusted comic, they immediately called the manager and said, this is the guy. If it had come from her, they may have not jumped on it as quick.
But you know what? The store is doing a better job about
They are.
that.
That's what the manager said. Like, we
For
really
sure.
want to know this and that.
Yeah.
So I think people need to know that in the community, we're all trying.
Yeah.
You know, but you have to let us know.
There are certain people that it's an awkward thing because we don't know how we learn information about certain men or even women. There's some women that I know that have like harassed or, you know, like assaulted people.
Yeah.
And you learn information, but you can't, the victim is like, do not share this story. I'm just telling you. And then you don't know how to treat the person because they still like interact with, you see them all the time. And then you have to pretend like everything's okay. But inside you're like, I don't like this person. And I think that's part of like the fakeness that it feels.
Yeah, it's
and then so sometimes I just end up being cold to people and they just think I'm a bitch, but it's like I don't know how to deal with you because I know you assaulted someone.
Yeah.
It's like it's so
that's why people think I'm snarky or an asshole because I cut them off.
It's easier to sort of distance because it's like I don't know who did what.
We don't have. Well, it's I always side with the victim.
Women,
you
want to believe
time.
Because why would you come out? You put yourself out there.
I never.
For attack.
Anytime a victim tells me something, whether it's me, I'm like I side with you because especially if I know the other guy's backgrounds, right? And I have no problem informing if I see them talking. If I see the assaulter or the rapist talking to somebody, as soon as they're done, I'll walk up and I'll tell them, blah blah, don't do this or that. I have no problem calling these people out.
Yeah.
You know?
There was one guy who saw me at the Comedy Store and I had been cold with him because apparently it might be the same person. He had chased somebody out of the Comedy Store.
Oh, yeah.
We could talk after. But it might, and he had chased someone and my friend warned me about him and he and I had talked before. And as soon as I found that out, I was just like, this dude, like, I don't want to deal with him or whatever.
Yeah.
And he came up to me and like, he like put his hand on my back and he was like, why are you so cold to me? And I'm like, how do you not... Like, don't touch me if you know that I'm being cold to you. Like, what the fuck? Like, you can't even read my body language.
Don't touch anyone, period.
Yeah.
This is why I don't understand why. Like, I've had comics, like, who, like, you know, book me or whatever, and, like, just their greeting is just a hug and a peck on the cheek. And I'm like, I did not ask you to do this.
Unnecessary.
Like, this is supposed to be professional. I'm like, we're working. Like, I don't need your slob on my face, you know? Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And I honestly feel like
that's why I do that to the people I want to do that to. I'm like, yo.
I don't even do the fisting. I'll just do the elbow sometimes.
It's
like I can't, and that's because, and now it's like, oh, she's a bitch, she this or that, she's cold, she's reserved.
Yeah, but you know,
she's not
all
flirty
you got to
or
keep
whatever.
doing is just keep getting funny.
Yeah.
And then they all disappear because the truth is, like, you know, eventually, well, I mean, you guys will never need them.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And that's what I tell other comics, female comics. I'm like, you realize that when you get it, it's set. You're Kathleen Madigan. You're fucking, Lisa Lampanelli. You're DeGeneres. You are set. So for you guys, it's like, just fucking focus on being funny. And then they'll never.
Spite has really motivated me. It's gotten me into a lot of festivals this year.
There you go.
Don't give them the power and the attention. Don't feed it.
There's no reason to.
Don't take the bait.
There's no reason to. We already have enough trouble dealing with the stereotypes when getting booked, dealing with convincing people to book us, why the fuck do we have to humor
that's exactly
adult
what it is.
adult children?
So let's talk about that because I don't think people realize like how many no's you have to hear before you like hear a yes or before you get that opportunity.
Yeah.
So like how many no's had you heard when you were like on your come up and then you finally got Last Comic Standing?
Yeah.
Like, what was that?
Well, it's funny. For every TV appearance, I was turned down by 2 other programs.
Isn't that crazy? But, like, no one really talks about that
because
part,
it's like, how can you, you know, without... Because they don't... Often you don't hear why they turned you down. On this show that I tried out for when I got Last Comic Standing, there's another show. And we had a friend in the room who was like a producer, and they told me that the team was like, yeah, he's just not Mexican enough. And so it kind of confirms in your head, like, I fucking knew it. You know, I knew how you guys felt. And then I've heard the same thing, like, oh, we can't book you because you're Mexican. And it's in their contract that they don't want to work with Mexicans. And I've been canceled from a weekend because I was Latino. And the guy said that he didn't want to work with Latinos.
What the hell?
Yeah.
They can still do that?
Yeah, they can. They could write it in there.
What?
Wow.
I will tell you why. Okay, so there's...
Let's
the guy was a Latino comic.
Oh.
Right? So...
I bet you Aziz Ansari has this on his thing.
So the problem is... It may be.
You have never seen another brown comic on his lineups.
Yeah.
Never.
When Zara calls somebody out, it's the best thing.
There could be like
Never.
There could be like two things. All right. Either it's like fear of you're gonna touch their material and they don't want that.
Yeah.
Or like this guy, I think his beef. The reason he said that was because when you are an ethnicity, like in my case, Latino men, when club books you, they're like, well, then let's just make it a Latino weekend. And they book you with any Latino they could find, no matter at what skill.
Yeah.
And now you're going after these very stereotypical, terrible comics just because they're the only Latinos in
How are
town.
you nice to
and you're
those
stuck
people?
with them. Because they're good guys.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but in my head, I'm like, fuck,
And
man.
it's not their fault. They're getting stage
there's
time.
there's a club out here in fucking in our area.
I know.
That only offers me comedy con queso nights.
Yep.
Comedy con carne. Caliente. That's all they offer me.
They said they're going to stop titling it those things.
Yep.
That's all they, and it's just like, yo, is that all I'm good for? I'm
We've
not
all
good for any other
performed
day.
in those ethnic nightclubs
Exactly.
all over LA.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. That's why he wrote that in there. Because he was tired of being marketed as the Latino weekend, which
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
And the other side is that maybe he's just scared, you know? But I
Yeah.
really think it's that. He just
Yeah.
didn't want to be packaged.
So dumb how that's sometimes I just laugh at how that's all still a thing. Like that's what people look at. I'm like, how are we living in this day and age? And
It's
that's
because they have gotten no other formula for it.
yeah.
You know, unfortunately, you know, the bookers, agents, club owners, managers, this and that, they're not the creatives. We are.
Yeah.
So they can only be going by what templates we've set or what have been set before.
Science.
They can't see it beyond that.
Yeah.
Numbers.
Well,
They
ideas.
use
Ideas
numbers.
matter.
It fills seats, you know?
That's it, because that's the
Yeah.
belief.
Yeah.
Well, if it's unprecedented, then it's too risky, right?
Yeah.
For business.
Yeah,
Who
it's
wants to
just
be the
like,
risk
ooh,
taker?
exactly.
Who wants to be the one to get
kinda
fired?
Have to,
Everyone
you
in
have to-
comedy.
you have to-
Yeah, the
be a risk
creatives.
taker.
Absolutely, the creatives. But
Yeah.
with the business side,
It's business.
people have been fired.
It's like, no,
for
you're
taking
funny, you're
risks.
great,
Yeah.
but how can we market you? It's like, what do you mean,
Yeah.
how can you market me? Just fucking market me.
That's your job.
Yeah, it's
They
like,
don't
well,
get you.
Can we put you on a holiday? Is there a holiday that you guys celebrate?
But
You know,
people want to
that's-
jump on a moving. People want to jump on a moving train. So if you get pop, you make yourself pop. They see that.
Well, that's the other.
You
That's
discover-
the other
yeah.
thing. In the end, it used to take 15 years to pop as a comic.
Yeah.
It just did, right? And I'd rather have that route because then I know my base is there for me.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a strong fan base than a fabricated one because
Yeah.
they packaged me and made me
Yeah.
pop. Because a strong fan base, you can say whatever the fuck you want.
How in touch with your fan base are you, and how did you build that?
Well, I got lucky. You know, it's funny, man. I got different fans from, of course, Last Comic. A lot of it was from Gabriel
Yeah.
because Gabriel has the fan base that they love social media.
Yeah.
You know, they love Facebook more than anything.
And you guys are so different.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be like you're competing with each other.
Not
And
at
your
all.
Fans can
Yeah.
translate over.
And he's been
Yeah.
good
Fine.
about pushing it out there. Like Gabriel's
That's
actually
awesome.
very supportive as much as he
Aw.
can be,
Yay.
right?
Yeah.
So I had gotten that. Then the Last Comic had brought in the primetime fans.
Yeah.
You know, and some of them stuck around, right? I think the Tonight Show solidified with my fans that I am a comic.
Yeah.
Like they were like, they could tell their friends, it's the guy I told you about. Right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of what you have to keep doing. All these little spots solidify in your fans' favor. Like, yeah, see, I said he was funny, right?
Like your impression of your fan.
Yeah, he's a good guy. So
From
what
the long hair days.
yeah, they all bring it up. They bring it up every single time, right?
I'm
I
such a
love
fan of
that.
the haircut, though.
Thank you.
But I love that. For me, that's like such a fun compliment when someone's surprised that I'm funny.
Yeah.
And I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
oh, okay, I won somebody over today. They
Yeah.
were not, but like, I
And
like
then,
the
and then there's
unexpected.
those fans
like-
that are like, you know, like,
Yeah.
oh my God, we didn't know. Like when I opened up for Joe Coy and Michael
Yeah.
Yo and Christella,
Yeah.
their fans had no clue I was.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then they liked me
Yeah.
and started to come,
Yeah.
you know, so I've got a weird mix.
I love doing that. I love opening for other people who have like such a different fan base
Yeah.
than people I would normally run into. And then it's always like a nice, pleasant surprise for
Well,
me.
that's the
And,
way
like,
to
it's
grow.
always- yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I love
because
that.
if you don't do that, you're just performing to your same fans.
Yeah, and those are absolutely my
Exposure
favorite
helps.
nights. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the nights where I'm like, oh, okay, this is why I'm doing all this.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is why I'm listening to somebody at 1 a.m.
Then you have to set a tone with you and your fans. So what I'm doing through social media and everything, I'm actually giving them a lot of my real personality because I don't want them to not know who I am.
You do a lot of like sketches and stuff too.
Yeah.
Those are really
so
funny.
I give them a lot of stuff where it's like, this is who I am as a human being.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to be like Logan Paul and be like, what's up, Paulsters? How you doing? Whatever the fuck he says. You know what I'm saying?
God.
You know, it's like, yo, don't. And I even do it when I get on live on YouTube and they try to act cute with me like that, where they try to do Logan Paul shit. I'm like, yo, get the fuck out of here. Go fucking be somebody else's fan. I don't need you. And I will call, and that's what my fans like.
Yeah.
Because then they feel like, yeah, that's right. We're his true fans. We don't ask about his hair. Oh, you're lame. And now I got fans that will actually like get people like, yo, you need to stop asking him that.
Yeah.
You don't know.
They get you, and then
Is
they
this
work
an
for
impression?
you.
Is this an impression of a real fan?
That's how
You
they
have a-
yeah. Yo, what's up, man? Nick, yo.
Lots of hand
And I
movement.
create and I do a lot of crowd work on my little fucking videos with them.
Yeah.
Which
Right?
platform do you use?
I use
Use
them
Instagram a lot.
all. I use Instagram a lot. So what I'll do is I'll start Instagram live and I'll start YouTube live on a laptop and I
Yeah.
talk to both.
Nice.
And then I'm say, all right, guys, I'm gonna reconnect on Instagram and I'm gonna go to Facebook live and then I talk to
You're
both.
so coordinated.
Then I'm like, you know what, guys, I'm gonna go to YouTube and Facebook live and I'll talk.
Yeah.
And I do it both because at some points this conversation dies down, but this one picks up, and then this one dies down, and then this one picks up. So I just keep talking to them.
All right. I think we got to wrap up.
Oh, sorry.
No, it was all very
fun?
useful and fun information. We ask our guest a couple questions at the end of the podcast.
All right.
One of them is, so we're South Asian, Desi comedians. Who is your favorite Desi South Asian celebrity?
Celebrity?
Yeah. There's like Russell Peters, Hasan Minhaj, MIA,
Or we can
Cal
be
Penn.
flexible.
Or it could be
maybe
just
someone-
person.
Yeah, who stands out to you?
Yeah.
You guys
Influential to
gave
you?
in real quickly on that. He was still thinking about it.
Yeah, because I was going through the names you just said.
Yeah.
I mean, Kyle Penn, you know, he's
yeah.
been in for a bit. I don't know.
He worked for Obama. That's crazy to me.
That is kind of insane.
He literally was in Harold and Kumar Guantanamo too, like
Yeah, you know
and
what?
jizzed in his own face a year before working for Obama in the White House.
yeah.
Yes,
Which
he
is
did.
like what I'm going to tell my parents.
That's
I
inspirational.
mean, that's really tough
yeah.
because since I'm not completely into it, I know the big names.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But that one comes to mind. That one sticks out for you.
That one does, just because he's done a lot.
Yeah.
What are some other names? MIA was kind of gangster.
Yeah. She a badass
She's
bitch.
fucking gangster, flicking off the entire Super Bowl audience.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, that's some gangster shit right there.
Yeah.
Let me think, man. Who are some other ones that I might not even...
That's about it. There's only like 5 of us.
I know.
There's only
There's
five.
only 5. There's
Apu.
Apu.
Who? Yeah,
Mindy
always a
Kaling.
favorite.
Mindy Kaling.
Mindy's
Aparna Nancharla.
dope.
Hari Kondabalu.
Yeah, that's right.
A bunch of people.
And I like his
Priyanka
tweets.
Chopra.
Hari. Yeah.
Yeah, I like what he puts out there. You know what's so crazy, man? They're all intelligent. They're all strong. They all are sharp in their opinion. So to me, you know, they're all
The same person.
something to be like, yeah, they're doing shit.
Yeah.
Like Hassan, his special was like, yo, that was a good fucking
yeah.
special.
It was really,
It was
yeah.
special.
Yeah.
It was special.
And the way that they coordinated the lighting with the crowd and the shadow and everything, like I was like, this guy had it down, and
Yeah.
I loved his story. So to me, I was like, yo, that was a sharp special.
Yeah, it was really good.
That was really good.
It stuck out.
Aziz, I don't give a fuck about.
That's a friend connection over
Nick's
here.
my best friend.
You know, I mean, I get it, whatever, but I don't.
I'm the same way.
I
I'm
think
the same way.
when that article came out, a lot of people felt like the heart wasn't there as much as it
With
with Aziz.
the Me Too thing.
Yeah, because I think like they thought he was one thing, and then they read that
Well,
article.
because
they
that's
thought
what he
was
presents
another.
himself as.
That's
Hey,
what I'm
I'm a
saying.
goofy guy. I hang out with Kanye. So
Yeah.
when something serious like that happens, it brings that like, yo, you have a dark side to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Whereas I think like Hassan, like a part of the reason he's so like lovable and stuff is because it feels like his heart is in
Because it's
everything.
genuine.
He's always
He
been
does.
genuine.
Yeah.
It's not like so much brand management on his side
Yeah.
where Aziz tried really hard to keep a certain brand.
Yeah.
You know, and when it all, I mean, he even wrote a book called Modern Romance, like siding with the women. And then you behave this way towards women. Like, who are you really?
I don't care for a comic whose big jokes are about how they hang with celebrities.
Yeah.
I'm like, who gives a fuck?
A lot of comics who are getting into or people who are getting celebrities who are getting into stand up now, that's all of their stand up.
That's all they have.
Yeah, it's just
Jeremy Piven has great celebrity stories.
I wasn't gonna name him, but I did. Yeah, I did see him at
He's got great celebrity stories.
He also got.
Have you seen Madonna's 5-minute set on Tonight Show?
Oh my god,
that's terrible.
Oh my god,
really? When was that?
It was years ago.
So bad. It was years ago,
and it was just she was in her like leather leotard. It was
she
so
had a
bad.
Gold grill or some shit.
It was
bad.
So bad, and it was awful.
We gotta watch it.
Yeah,
I don't need to again. But a lot of the celebrity, like the Jeremy Piven thing, I saw him at a show. He went up after me, and I didn't realize that he had gotten Me Too'd as well. Like and then they're all just coming into comedy because they're like, where can I assault people and not get any repercussions?
Because their agents and teams are like, yo, you do this, we'll get you $25,000 a weekend.
Yeah.
There's a lot of managers and agents
money.
But that's crazy that they just all come into comedy.
And then you get applauded. You know how much these people want to be applauded and
Well, the
loved?
clubs take them because it's like, oh yeah, the celebrity's absolutely going to sell this out.
They have a base.
They're going to sell it out, you know?
I mean, I get it, you know? So I guess Hassan and Mindy.
Okay.
I love Hassan's authenticity. That's what it is. I feel like that.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Makes me feel invested.
I hope he's a good dude. You better not be a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
That's literally like women will be like, hey, you know this guy, like, should I go on a date with him? And I'm like, I don't know of anything he's done yet. Like, that's all I can, that's the best thing I can say about someone right now.
And I think Mindy's a really deserves the spot that she's getting. You know what I'm saying?
She seems like she works really fucking hard.
That's why, you know,
she seems like she's...
That's a fucking fight. I remember seeing her in 40-Year-Old Virgin, you know, and just having that fight of getting into the office, becoming a thing, getting into all that, and actually like making something of it. That's a hard fight.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The other question we ask is, do you have, this is a safe space, do you have any questions about Desi, South Asian people that you think are dumb or like that you haven't asked anyone or that you're curious about?
Dumb questions.
No, not at all.
Anything that you're curious about?
Did you have a friend named Raj growing up who did weird shit?
I do have a friend named Raj.
We all do.
Yeah. No. Okay. How about this? Why are the men so spoiled, like little princes?
Oh, yes.
That's the big thing that I see.
Yeah.
The men, every man,
because their moms
is
and
a little
dads
prince.
treat them
It's
that way.
traditional. They carry on the name.
That's the only beef I have.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's why I don't get into their
You heard it here, dudes.
And I'm just like,
it's noticeable. It's not something women complain about.
It's so noticeable. It's like,
especially
yo,
if
bro.
you're the only boy.
It's also like a thing of like even at dinner and stuff. Like they'll be brought the plate of food first, and you know, like that sort of thing.
They'll be picked up after.
Yeah. So it is. So you guys all know. Yeah. So
literally, like
obviously,
like when in households, like women are just constantly like cleaning shit up and like making the food and doing
like
everything.
It feels then more so.
Our cultural role is being a support system to the breadwinner.
It's like feed the men first, make sure the men are taken care of, and all of that before you feed. Like I've had so many cold dinners because I was like helping my mom in the kitchen, and like we eat after the dinner party's over at like 11 p.m.
That sucks.
You know, because it's just how it works.
That's why, like, when I meet the guy comics on that side, I just look at them like, motherfucker, you haven't been through shit. You're fine.
You're soft.
You're soft, man. You soft as a pillow, son. What the fuck you complaining about? Which is why a lot of them just do crowd work because they got nothing to talk about.
Damn.
Russell Peters is all crowd work, by the way.
Like, yo,
but we love you.
Yeah. Russell's cool.
Yeah,
Russell's dope.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like, yo, if that's all you got, is pointing out everybody else.
Yeah, there's like I remember like in my family too, there was like my uncle like brought a dish back in after like being served in his bed and stuff and was like, see, look at what a great husband I am. Like the one time he did it and I was like, I fucking hate you. Like this is terrible.
I think that's the only thing I've always noticed and I've told people, I'm like, oh, they're all little prince. Every single one of these dudes. And they're usually, you know, like with dudes, they're good. Like, yo, hey, what's up? But to me, it's like, why do you always have a rainbow shining on you? Why are you always so perfect? Why is everything in your life great? Why is it like, to me, it doesn't feel like...
Because his mother ironed his shirt and picked out all of his outfits.
I mean, I got stories. I've been on the road with a few, and I'm just like, I can't believe your parents still write you a check. As allowance.
I had a boyfriend whose mom would, every time he went home, his mom would give him like a whole suitcase full of like just like food, home cooked meals in Tupperware.
Yeah.
Just like for his fridge.
But
And
see,
I'm
on
like,
the
are you ever
other-
gonna
My mom
cook?
does that for both of us. Like, I think in my immediate family, like my brother, like he was the first grandson in the family, and that was like a big deal.
This is like
but
luggage?
I think in my
luggage as tall as yourself?
Oh,
full
my
of
mom!
Tupperware?
My mom boxes. She'll cook and like send us.
Yeah.
But she does that
so
for like
loved.
all of us. But then my extended family, that shit is prevalent.
See, the other side of the coin is I've noticed a lot of these men who've been babied, like had the food literally put in their mouth, have an issue when they're by themselves
No,
and
they
being
do. They
independent
definitely
and
do.
taking care of themselves.
Yeah. And they also have an issue with their own success because in the back of their head, they're like, I have earned none of this. You know, and you could see it because they are the ones that kind of like have that weird. So how'd you get that? How'd that happen? How'd that, you know, like, what do you mean? Like they don't.
Yeah.
They're coming into Hollywood. They're like, well, wait, I'm the little prince. Why isn't everybody immediately coming to me?
Yeah.
You know, and then they start saying, well, it's because they already got an Aziz. They got an Aziz already. Oh, they got a Hassan now? Oh, we're never going to get in.
Oh my God, I need to be best friends with Nick.
You guys are bonding hard over shit talking. It's great. All right.
I'm a big shit talker.
Thank you. Where can we find you shit talking?
At Nick Comic on Twitter and Instagram and at my fan page. So it's kind of like this. Instagram, I'll talk shit a little bit, but I'm also goofy. Twitter, it's pretty much all political and shit talk and stuff. My personal Facebook page is literally me putting up like the shit that you saw.
Yeah.
Right? And then like YouTube is me just fucking interacting and having fun. Yeah. They all have different personalities.
Yeah.
But it's all the same Nick Guerra.
Yep.
Cool.
Oh, and you can listen to my podcast on the same comedy network, Time with Nick and Johnny, which we got to get you guys on. Johnny's here. We'll figure out time.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Should we record it now? No.
I got to go to Riverside.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, in this traffic?
Yeah, that's why I got to go. Yeah.
All right. Let's figure this
And
out.
so your socials.
Yeah, so this has been the Facial Recognition Comedy Podcast. I'm Fizza Dasani. My socials are at Fizza Dasani on Twitter and Instagram. That's spelled FIZAADOSANI. So that's Fizza with one Z and two A's. And at the Fizza on Facebook and www.fizzadasani.com.
I am Paula Viganalin, PALLAVIGUNALAN. We got through it without you guys laughing.
Kind cunt.
Yay. No, I haven't gotten kind cunt yet.
Kind cunt.
That's my brand. I'm aspiring hoe and a kind cunt. But like, okay, so that's all my Twitter, my Facebook, my Instagram, my website. And you are?
I'm Zara Ali, live on Instagram and Twitter. Zara is spelled ZAHRA.
And we are Facial Recognition Comedy on Instagram and Facebook, and Facial Rec Comedy on Twitter. We have a Patreon that's now up, and you can catch the videos of these podcasts at the lowest tier, I guess.
And all this other fun stuff.
Yeah, a bunch of other perks as you pay us more.
There you go.
So check that out. Patreon.com/facial recognition comedy. Thank you guys.
Thank you for having me.
Yay.